Yeah, look, the first 5 to 10 minutes competitive. Won some ball, won it forward, and 3 goals apiece, and and again a better side, and an older side, and that we certainly fell away. And then the second quarter, we probably lost our structure a little bit and started to play as individuals. And we addressed that at 3/4 time, and then you come out and it's 3-1 to 3-4, and we started to play. Obviously, we did to reduce the damage and for us to almost win a quarter. We were actually able to compete better as a team. We're certainly a long way off when we try to compete as individuals, and when we competed as well as a team, we were actually in the contest, if you like. Certainly after the first quarter, very hard to get back in the game, and after the second quarter. But and the same could be said. I thought early on in the last quarter as well for 4 or 5 minutes, didn't get the score on the board. So, but again, the opportunity for our players to play against a side like that down here, I think, of all the toughest challenges you're going to have, and for us, because we come from a warm climate, not that, mind you, the conditions were fairly conducive to Gold Coast weather. Down here against a side like that, in cold conditions, is probably the biggest task that we'll ever face. And again, the exposure for our young kids to experience that is fantastic.
So what's sort of a better leading
for us, what's best for us? A side like that. And again, the margin was a blowout today. But as I said, you look at you break the quarters down when we competed, and you look at that and what works. We didn't get anyone or take anyone off in the second quarter. I mean, we still had our same 22 out there. So why was that so different to the third quarter? And so that's what you try and encourage the kids to understand. When you compete, we go one-on-one with some of these sides, we can force them into errors and make them look silly as well. But as I said, when you try and play on your terms and not our terms, we'll come unstuck. He's a broken pelvis, so I don't think they can put a cast on that. But yeah, I'd say his season would be over. And Brownie, of course, he probably thinks it's only 2 weeks and he'll be right. But yeah, so that was sad. And look, I mean, he typifies what you sort of need down here. And so to lose him, obviously Gaz before the game. But again, I look at the first 5 to 6 minutes and go, without Gaz, without Brownie, well, guess what? It's 3 goals apiece. So what changes? And again, for us as a young developing team, it's what changes is something in the head. The body doesn't change. We don't lose our speed. We don't lose our ability to kick and use the footy. It's a mental thing. And I said the boys have to go through that to understand it. I mean, I did as a player at West Coast. I mean, I still remember kicking 1 goal in an AFL game at Windy Hill. You're scarred by it. I don't think you're ever scarred by it. You're hurt by it. It didn't stop us to go on and win premierships and spend 10 years in the finals either.
Have you heard any hamstring injury happen?
No. Oh, look! I think early on, given our performance against Geelong up at Metricon Stadium, I think they came out, swinging physically in a good sense, and there was it was fairly physical game early on, and I didn't actually see it. I just turned around at one stage. I think from all reports he got crunched, got hit. And again, typical of Brownie, he wanted to soldier on, and that's when he felt something not right, and you get that unerring sort of bone sensation rattling in his body, and so collapsed to the ground and had to come off, of course. Doc? Well, we just wait and see, mate. It's a bit too early. I mean, but we would hope. The fact he played almost 2 games with it, and then obviously he nicked it just kicking that goal late in the game against St Kilda. So yeah, it's an unknown, mate. But yeah, that certainly helps next week. But as I said, the boys should come away disappointed, understand that, and work on how we improve next week. Yeah, look, we've said all along this month of footy was almost going to be our mini final series, if you know what I mean. St Kilda, Collingwood, Geelong, of course, down here, and obviously up to the Q Clash after. Obviously, we beat them in the first one, so we understand how tough that is, and that's why the boys, as I said, be disappointed, but come out Wednesday, mentally and physically ready to go to rectify our wrongs and get ready for Brisbane on the weekend. Oh, the group? Well, again in patches. They show they can match it with the best side going around it. We did that for a half against Collingwood. Again, we're up at home, and again, what you learn about the group is who's prepared to compete away from home, where it's the hardest. Again, it's easy at home. We understand that, but again in patches we've shown that. And mind you, bar the Brisbane win, we've actually won away from home more so than we've won at home. So. No, they can do it. It's just a matter of consistency. But that's what young groups are like. They have those inconsistencies. And today, unfortunately, against a good side that's going to be at you and stay at you, it's very hard to right those wrongs. Oh, well, look, Stephen May, I think he's had one touch in the first half. Then he went down back. And played with some intensity. Seb Tape came on after Brownie's injury. We were probably only hoping to play him for a half because he's had a massive year. Stevie Johnson's kicked 5 goals to half time. Seb Tape comes on him and keeps him to 1 goal. So against a player like that, I mean, it's a massive tick for Seb Tape, and he was fantastic. I think Jeremy Taylor, probably lose him next week. He'll go in for surgery now, but he was, under fire was. I thought he did a fantastic job as well. Mav Weller carried a cork for most of the game, and played on Bartel and some of the the premier half forwards, if you like, Chapman as well. Forced him probably into the midfield. So a couple of kids really put their hand up today, and I thought Nathan Bock under fire and under a bit of duress, he really steadied the ship down there. I mean, that could have got a whole lot uglier if it hadn't been for Bocky's performance, that's for sure. He's just got he got the adductor problem. He'll have an operation on both his groins. So that's a 10-weeker. So he's ahead of, I think, I'll say, a fantastic year. He's shown in such a small amount of time how precious he's going to be and how good he's going to be for us. So our thinking is to get him operated on so he can charge into the pre-season and be fit, ready for next season.